Are you one of those people that have been, well, frankly, watching the Hangout with Michael show here and maybe yelling out your question to the screen? Maybe you say, but what about this, Michael? But what about this, Michael? Well, today is your but what about this, Michael day. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hangout with Michael show. We're live here every Friday at 9 o'clock Pacific time, 12 noon Eastern. The purpose of this weekly Hangout show is to inspire you and uplift you and give you the tools and processes so you can live a rich, awesome life. My hunch is that you're in. Hey, be sure to say hello today. Let me know where you're watching from. This is your opportunity to ask your question about law of attraction and any NLP questions, anything to do with life purpose. We have the panel today. I'm going to be taking questions from 3 new panel members, plus you. So say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. And John will be helping me in a few minutes read that. Hey, before we get started today, I am going to make a few announcements. Boy, I know it's a long weekend in the States, and in Canada here, we are full steam because I am doing 3 Facebook Lives this weekend. Tomorrow morning, my buddy John in Variety and I, we are doing our weekly Emotion Code Live. It lasts about 50 minutes. We explain the process of the emotion code, and then during Facebook, I'm going to say it, during the Facebook Live show, John or I are using the emotion code process to help reduce someone's chronic pain without touching them. Yeah, I know. 9 o'clock tomorrow, PST, 12 noon. Be on this page and you can watch it live. John, wave your hand, let people know. Yeah, John and I are going to be doing that live. And then, like that's not miraculous enough, then at 11 o'clock, I'm interviewing a coach here in Victoria that's using the work from my new book, Your Life Purpose, in her seminars and her one-on-one coaching. And I met her this week. I was so impressed about the work she's doing. I'm going to feature her in my new book. That's 11 o'clock PST tomorrow and 2 o'clock Eastern time. Same page twice. Okay, you're thinking, really? Another one? Sunday morning, 9 o'clock. It's for my Spanish friends. I have certified facilitator Victoria Fuller. She's Spanish. Her and I are doing a Facebook Live. It's called Why Your Affirmations Are Sending Negative Vibrations. I'll deliver in Spanish and she will, in English. She will translate and deliver it in Spanish. It's our second one. We had massive amounts of people watching and asking questions. So if you're around this weekend, sitting around the cottage and you got your phone with you and no one's around, plug into Facebook.com/Michael Losier fans and hang out with me this weekend and have a Michael with Marathon with Michael weekend. Any more announcements? Oh yeah, did I just hear a doorbell? Yeah, I did. What is it? It's the delivery dude, and he has brought me books. I am so excited. Now, for those of you that are sitting home waiting to get your book, there is nothing in the whole world like touching a book and touching the beautiful shiny cover and going through the say yes panel. Show me your thumb. Say yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in.
I've been printing this off as a Word document for like 4 years, but to open the box and see them all stacked up, it's beautiful. It's a very, very good value on Amazon. You know what? We're going to do it again. I didn't ask them to do it. John, during today's show, I want you to tell me the price on Amazon today. Dana, if you can find out, what did we do last time? Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble, okay.
Get you the price live today. I really want you to have a copy. They're not delivering until June 6th. These are my private, secret, don't tell anybody you have them copies. Oops, I just did. So that's my announcements. John, good morning.
Good morning. Always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Tell our friends about you.
Yeah, my name is John in Variety, and I'm a certified emotion code and certified body code practitioner. And I love helping people with chronic pain, other chronic concerns, unexplained chronic pain. Love helping athletes overcoming performance blocks or performance anxiety, and helping business owners with money blocks. And I'm in Vancouver, Canada, on the west coast of Canada. And you can find me at aliveandpure.com.
John's my new ECBFF. He's my new emotion code BFF. I was limping for 5 years on stage, And John, with the work of the emotion code and body code, corrected that pain during a Skype call. That's why I'm so into it now. That's why I want you to watch tomorrow at 9 o'clock. John, what can people expect in our live Facebook tomorrow at 9 PST? What can they expect?
Everything you need to know about the emotion code, Michael Losier style, simplified to the point. Yeah, it's one of the best ways to explain the emotion code to people. So be sure to come hang out tomorrow. And we're doing a live session. Over the past couple of weeks, we worked on people with chronic pain, food cravings. And are we doing heart wall tomorrow?
Hey, that's right. We're doing the heart wall tomorrow. Thanks for the
heart wall. Yeah.
So listen, if you've got a broken heart or your heart broken or your off, with the last relationship, or about that relationship way in the past that has caused you to find the way that you're doing and having all those, well, we can go there too and we can clean that up. Clean it up by meaning your heart has a wall around it, and it's a wall of broken relationships that have suffered your heart with all the, you know what, we're not teaching it today. Join me tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Oops. So John, I'm excited that you're joined us today, and thank you for the bag of coffee from your vacation. I got that yesterday, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, on that note, let's go back to me for a moment. So I got this yesterday, and I'm very excited. It is my certification of completion for the Emotion Code Practitioner certification. Very excited about that. Good. Hey, we're staying in Vancouver. We're going to talk to Dana. Good morning, Dana.
Good morning, Michael panel and viewers. As Michael said, I'm beautiful Vancouver. I'm a certified law of attraction trainer. I was certified from Michael several years ago, and I'm also a certified emotion code practitioner because when I work with my women entrepreneurs who are stuck, even though I can work with their business plan and marketing and we can use law of attraction tips, they can still get a little bit of stuck. And also thanks to Michael and his inspiration, I am the author of the Law of Attraction Gratitude Journal. And I made a dedication in there to Michael because it was because of meeting him and his inspiration and knowing how the law of attraction can really change lives that I was inspired to write the book. So thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Remember that time I spoke at that church in Vancouver? Of course you do. I spoke at this church in Vancouver, and Dana comes up to me before it started, and she said, "You remember me? I'm going to take your program one day, and I'm going to teach law of attraction." And I remember that conversation, and you were clear back then about what you wanted, what you were going to be doing. So that was interesting. Okay, John, thank you, Dana, and welcome. Oh, first, Dana, let's talk about last week's show because it was a buzz. You know what? Every show's getting bigger and better. People are sharing the show more. There's so many new people that say, "Wow, this is so cool," and I know this is you out there sharing it with your friends. Dana, tell me about last week's show.
Yeah, so last week was episode 191. So you can go to michaellosier.com and just check out on the right-hand side of his website. He's got the Hangout shows. You can find them all there. It's 191.
I think it's 190.
No, 191, Michael.
Okay, sorry.
And your life's purpose was what we were talking about. So Michael was talking about the book, and several of us that were on the panel were talking about what our fulfillment needs are. So we had a great time. If you want to watch that, again, just go to michaellosier.com and the Hangouts, and you will see it. It was a great show.
Thank you. Okay, good stuff. Thanks, Dana. We're going to get to the other three panel members because it is Q&A day, and I know you've got one. We're going to go back to John. John's going to go live and find out who is saying what. John, go ahead, please. Who's saying what?
Yeah, I'm live. I've got the feed here. So Corolla is watching live and says hello. Hi, Corolla.
Hey, Corolla. Nice to have you with us today.
And Rami as well says hello. Dana, John, Michael,
Loyal
and
Rami.
all
Good morning.
panelists. Hi, Rami. Leslie Marshall is watching from Oregon.
Hey, Leslie.
Yeah. And Bettina Jensen. Hi, Bettina from Denmark.
Hey, Bettina. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good evening to you.
Wonderful. Yeah. Kevin Hume's watching. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, go, Kevin.
Yeah. And that is everyone. There's some comments, but yeah, that's all the hellos right now. So if you are watching live, please say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. And also, if you could like and share this feed so others can see it, that would be absolutely wonderful.
Okay, great. Your lighting looks great today, John. I think
Thank you.
It's his tan.
Look at him, he's radiant. So I think he's got some filters on today or something. Hey, I just want to do a shout out. Kevin, our friend from Toronto, is saying he's awesome to be back watching, missing being in Michael's vibe, and he's looking forward to getting the new book. Hey, it's the new book. Diane is going to be putting the link on how you can get that. John or Dana, when you know the price, let me know. Hey, Sylvia Bellini is watching from afternoon in London. No weather report, but you know what, Sylvia, good evening to you. We're her favorite show. I love that. Diane's been posting information that I talked about the Facebook shows. Oh, here's our first question. We're going to take a couple viewer questions, and then we're going to introduce our new guest today. Carola's asking 2 questions. Good work, Carola. First, to become a practitioner, what is best? And I think she might be asking about an emotion code practitioner. If you are, I'm just going to reach for this. First, get the book called The Emotion Code, and then watch all the videos that John and I are doing on the Emotion Code, and then watch all the videos that Dr. Bradley has on the Emotion Code, and then learn how to do it yourself. That's the phases, and that's all you need to know now. Don't get too ahead of yourself. And in the meantime, learn how to do muscle testing. That's if your question was, how do you do Emotion Code Practitioner, Dr. Bradley Nelson? What you might not be asking, but I'm going to answer anyway, is how do we become a Law of Attraction certified facilitator? Well, you know, I offer an online program. I've been teaching this program. I've certified 440 people in 17 countries. So there's people all over the world that are taking the training. Now it's available online. But you can check out more of the information and hear the value of what you can get once you're certified. You can be doing all the information from my Law of Attraction in my NLP book. And I provide the handouts and the process and the system. That's what everybody needs. You can go to hangoutwithmichael.com/certification. Diane will put that link in there. And her second question, how do I save my relationships and quite frankly, my life? Well, Carola, that is a big question. So I would go back to video number 1 at the Hangout with Michael show. Go to YouTube and type in episode number 1, Michael Losier, and it's called How to Reset Your Vibes, and you're going to start there. Okay, I'm going to like that. John, who else is saying what? We'll take, John will read out a couple comments, and then we're going to stay on Vancouver Island and meet some more friends and hear their question. Go ahead, John.
I think that's everything. Oh, no, there's one from Michelle Watkins. I'm not too sure if you mentioned her. It says, good afternoon.
Hey, Michelle, good afternoon.
Yeah. Oh, one more popped up. Kathy Worth is watching, and might take a little time to read this, but Kathy is watching. Yeah.
Okay, good. We have different screens right now, so I see Kathy Ho from Toronto. She's watching. Sasavan from India. I think he got hooked last Friday, right? And he's back this Friday. So hello from India. Again, Rami's with us. Jim in Veracity. What a great panel today. Oh, really? I thought so too, Jim. And we talked to Carola. Good. Okay, I think we're caught up here. And Delilah is watching from North Carolina. I think she's also made me a habit because she was here last week. We're going to Vancouver. We're going to meet some new friends with us today. We're going to start with Dr. Pamela Smith. Good morning and welcome today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, Michael. I've been watching your show for about a year now. John introduced me to you and your show. So yeah, my name is Dr. Pamela Smith. I'm a naturopathic physician here in Vancouver, where I have 2 offices. I have a special interest in helping patients with hormone balance, skin and digestive concerns, and improving their overall energy and sleep quality, that kind of thing. I have a website. It's drpamelasmith.com. So once again, thank you for having me.
Yes. Now, are you keeping doctor's hours today and deciding not to be at work at 9 o'clock on the Friday morning? Can you just do that?
I made an exception today for you. Yeah.
Well, I know that you're a loyal enthusiast watcher and you're joining us here to learn more about it. And I'd like to hear what you are asking me today on the Hangout with Michael show. Go ahead, please.
Absolutely. So I've read both of your books, and I have an NLP question for you because I think that has a lot of value in my practice and communicating with patients. So are there any specific questions that I can ask as a practitioner to quickly assess a patient's learning style?
Yeah, that's what a great question. Thanks, Pamela. I want everyone to hear the importance of this. When you're meeting somebody from the very first time, and particularly if you're in a doctor's situation, the person's already nervous and you don't want to break rapport with people. And what break rapport in our terms means ticked off. I'm going to say it. Should I say it or not say it? Dana, say yes or no.
No.
Okay. So we don't want to break rapport with people. We don't want to tick people off, right? Because once that happens, and Pam, I'm sure you can attest to that, once you break rapport with somebody, it's tough, right? It's hard to get their agreement. It's hard to become friends. It's hard to get them to agree to stuff and, to cooperate and so on. So we don't want to tick anybody off. We want to be in rapport. Rapport is broken mostly around people's communication. Here's the challenge. There's 4 styles, the way people like to receive information. So the person that you're just talking to on the phone that might be a client or a customer, or your patient that just came in who's talking to you the first time, you want to make sure right off the bat that you're matching their style. And by matching their style means is using words that they're used to using. Now, there's 4 styles. There's people that process information with visual words, like they like the word look and see and appear, and how does that look to you, and what's the big picture? And some you say, I've never used those words. But your question is, how do I tell what their style is? Well, eventually you'll be able to take up many cues, but write these down. If they're using these words, so you're listening for the words they're using, they'll give their style away. If they come to you and say, I was looking at, or this is what I see, or I'm imagining. So they're all visual words. So you would reply to those sentences with the same style words. You would say, oh, so is this what you're seeing? And they say, oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm seeing. You see, we know when we meet someone's style because we're not done the sentence and they're saying yes. But if you say to somebody, well, how does this look? And they say, how does this look to me? As soon as they repeat the question, it's not their style. And now they're trying to process it to figure, what does she mean? Well, frankly, she hasn't showed me anything. What am I supposed to be looking at? And they're so confused about the word, then you know you didn't match it. So here's the cues to understand who you're talking to and what may be, I'm generalizing, and yeah, I wrote the book, what they generally might be their dominant style. We have all 4. If they use the word see and look and appear and big picture, you use those too. They have anything to do with the eye, so use those words. If they call you and say, I read something and it sounded like a great idea. It actually resonated with me, what you were saying in our converse. You see how all those words have to do with the mouth and the ear, like chatting and talking? So don't ask them how they feel because they don't know. Ask them what it sounded like and if it resonated with them. Now, the third group is the kinesthetic group. If they use words like, this feels comfortable for me, and I feel that we really connected, and I feel that you could, well, you know what, that's a giveaway. Don't ask them what they think. They're not going to tell you. Ask them how they feel. Pam, are you getting the little gist here? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they will give
Absolutely.
away
And I also took a screenshot of your lists to have in front of me until I get better at this.
Yes, well, good. And they're the last style. They're the thinker style, and they don't fit to any of the other groups. But they're the ones that'll say, well, I've been thinking. And what my conclusion and summary of the information is, like already you can tell they're thinkers, right? Don't ask them how they feel because they don't know. Ask them how they think. So Pam was referring to previous episodes that we did here on the Hangout with Michael show, just for an example. And in my book, Law of Connection, the one in the middle, most of the book is about the 4 styles. Here's one of the characters. He's Digital Dan. He processes from his head. So here's the questions that Digital Dan uses. Not questions, word. Think, does that make sense? What are your thoughts? What are your processes? So as a cheat sheet, if you know your client's a thinker, you would say, oh, what do you think about that? Oh, what are your thoughts about that? Oh, they also love this question, note to self, everybody. What do you like best? You know why they like that question, Pam? What do you like best? They get to sort all that information. And now they're sorting it. They'd resort the phone book if you let them. They're sorting everything they learned to get the best one, and they love it. But you've got to give them time to process. So in your field, in our field, on a date, staying in rapport, in the 4 communication styles, my last one is kinesthetic. It doesn't mean I don't have feelings, but I don't respond really fast to feeling questions. So, when people know that when I'm traveling the world or going to Peru, my friends say, are you excited about going? And I always have to process that. And I say, no, but I'm looking forward to going because I'm visual. And they say, yeah, but are you excited? And I say, well, I'm looking. You see where conflict happens? Yeah. They want me to say I'm excited, and I don't want to. Now, if John asked me, I would say, oh, John, I'm feeling so excited about connecting on my Peru vacation. I can't wait to hug the people there.
Oh,
yeah. See, awesome. John and I would connect just like that. So the goal is to be a good communicator in all 4 styles. Go back to Hangout with Michael. Go to my YouTube account. Type in Losier NLP. I think we've done 4 shows on it. You can learn everything from my book in those 4 NLP Hangout with Michael shows. Good. Pam, tell me what you learned in all that. What did you hear that was going to be helpful?
I think just maybe I'm a bit auditory, so hearing it, I read it and I'm reading it in your book, but I think hearing it from you has been also really helpful. So that's probably gave me more information about myself than anything.
Okay, good stuff. Yeah, just a reminder, we use all 4 styles. One of them is our favorite and very dominant. So, what people like about my book, well, I will refer to my new book, Your Life's Purpose, available on pre-order at Amazon. But you know what people like about my books? It has this in it. It has boxes. And some of the groups like that. It has pages where it's just one quote. It has characters in it. I got 4, it's got graphics in it. And people say, oh, I love the way you write. And what they're really saying is, I like that you wrote it in my style. Well, I wrote it in all 4 styles. So.
And Michael, they can get that book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble's. Amazon's $10.87 and Barnes & Noble's is $10.97.
Oh, wow.
So that's a good deal.
And if you're on Amazon and you're on Prime, you can get it delivered for free. You know what? You can find out your life's purpose for $10.97. Can you imagine that? Oh, well, not only that, you can see it behind me. See the fulfillment list? Here's what happens. In this book, I give you the list of fulfillment needs, and then you go through 5 processes. So when you're done, you uncover your top 4. And then when you know your top 4, then you'll live your life's purpose. This list here is not available yet, but you can have a copy of it on June 5th. That's one day before the book is released. And out of the 5 steps in the book, on this worksheet, do I have to point to it anymore? Do we all know it's there?
We got it.
Okay, great. This, on the bottom of this fulfillment is the first exercise. You'll remember what that is. We won't tell them, but the first exercise where you narrow the list down from 30 to maybe 25 or 28 or 20. So you can get that. You can go to hangoutwithmichael.com/life's purpose. It'll direct you to the page. You can subscribe. We will send you that colorful print off, so you'll have it a day before you get your book in the mail, and you can have step 1 done. Okay, we're staying on Vancouver Island. We're going to meet my friend Barb. Barb, good morning.
Good morning, Michael. Thank you for the invite to be on the panel.
You're welcome. Thanks for hanging out there. It's been 25 minutes, and I finally got to Barb. Well, you know what? Usually I say the show was 30 minutes, but I'm not sure if our Facebook friends know our policy. Dana, can you remind us what the policy is with Michael Losier's 30-minute show?
Yeah, so Michael Losier's policy is it's his show and he'll do what he wants. Period.
Well, it's not that saucy. It's really It's my show.
It is that saucy, Michael.
I would say it's my show, and I'll go over if I want. Okay. So, Barb, thanks for hanging out with us. Barb, introduce yourself. Tell us about you. Oh, sorry, you already did that. Now you're going to tell us your, no, you haven't introduced yourself yet. Go ahead, please.
Well, good morning, everybody. Barb Ashcroft from Qualicum Beach, Vancouver Island. I go way back to Michael's first edition book, way back when, and have been using the law of attraction through Michael's awesome training for all those years, and have now produced my story of how I use the law of attraction. My book is called When Your Bucket List Springs a Leak, all the do-overs and undos and clarity through contrast that you need to get through life. And thrilled to be here today and loving the show. Thank you.
Yes, well, congratulations on your book. It's I know you enjoyed your journey in writing that. Now, can you show my book again, please?
With a few Post-its.
I know. That book was in 2003. You know, that's old, 2003. I don't know how many people hang on to a book for how many years it's been. Like, it's been a lot of years. That's, you know, congratulations. I had a woman, Vicki Reese, if you're watching, shout out to you. She said, she goes, I moved 4 times and I purged every move, but your book made all four moves. So it's nice to see that. Good. Barb, tell me what question. I also want to acknowledge that you and Pramelia are running a law of attraction group in Qualicum Beach, Vancouver Island. Why don't you tell people about that? It was very successful. You brought me in on the last meeting by Skype and kind of wrapped things up, but I know you're starting one again. So if you're here on Vancouver Island, Barb, what can you tell people about that group? And then we're going to hear your question. Go ahead, please.
Great. Well, what Pramelia and I did is we felt, first of all, we had Michael for an all-day event in February, and we felt, wow, what is the best way for people to benefit from all that wonderful training that we had? So we actually created a mastermind, a law of attraction mastermind group, and went through 9 weeks of reapplying and learning and growing from each other. And as Michael shared, we just had the last session last week, and we brought Michael in as a surprise, and they were just super excited to see him again. And so we will be taking names through my website's right under my name there, and we will be starting up another Law of Attraction Mastermind right after summer, but we will be taking names, you know, from the next 10 weeks. So really invite people who want to be plugged in. Thank you.
Yeah, and make massive changes using law of attraction. Hey, Barb, what's your question for us today? And I know you've been a long-time viewer, so you probably stored up a question. Go ahead, please.
What I found is that the allowing is the biggest step of all of the whole law of attraction. But what I've also found is so many people, when they're getting started out, through clarity, through contrast, they are going into not just one, but they're going into multiple clarity through contrast sheets. Right. And I'd just love for you to be able to explain how that might not be anything except chaos.
Yeah, well, thank you for the question, and it's really important because, and it's a common question that I get by email. People say, can I be working on multiple things at the same time? Well, physically you can. You can say, well, I'm going to work on relationships and money and my career and my health. But here's what happens. The very first step says you need to get clear about what you want. So you need to observe what you don't like. And when you observe what you don't like, it helps you birth what you do want. So now you're giving attention to what you do want, right? So here's the kind of job that I'd love a job that has this and this and this and this and this. See how you got really clear about that? But guess what? Get real close. You don't have that job. So even though that's your desire, that's not what you're experiencing. So the distance between what you want and what you have is called what? Say it when you know it, anybody? It's contrast.
Resistance, contrast.
Resistance, contrast, negative vibration. Mm-hmm. So So you're going to experience that. And you're thinking, oh God, this is, I'm really ticked off now, because you're ticked off now because here's what you want, here's what you have. So the more you focus on what you want and the less you have it, the more the resistance. But that lasts a little time because you eventually start to attract that and get rid of that. So now you've caused a little bit of chaos in that area. So now you're going to try another. So now you're doing this in four. So now you have contrast in your relationship and contrast in this. I'll tell you a quick story. My friend, who's a realtor, did, him and his whole realtor team did Our Ideal Buyer. And they did the clear through contrast. They all got clear. Next day, he texted me and said, dude, I lost 2 buyers yesterday. What the, you know what? And I said, oh, were they, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Were they big buyers? He said, well, no, they haven't bought anything. And I said, oh, how come? He said, well, one of them is getting finance problems. And I said, oh, so they're not your ideal buyer. And he said, oh, yeah, I guess they're not. Does everybody understand what happens? When you get clear about what you want, what you have becomes larger and longer and stronger and meaner and uglier. You all know where I'm going with that? So only cause that slight disruption in one area at a time. And as you start to smooth out that, say, okay, good, this is running smoothly. Now I'm going to work on my relationships and so on. Barb, tell me how that helped you understand that better.
Thank you. That is a big question we get all the time too. So I loved your input. Thank you.
And with your group that's running 8 or 9 weeks, I would really get them to take one subject and go through it throughout the program. And then, because as soon as you start diluting your energy, as soon as you start giving attention to something else, well, it's like campfires. You can't have 4 campfires on the go equally as strong without giving them attention, without feeding it with air and fire. So if you leave this one, it's going to die out. So same with projects. Which one do you want to give all your energy to? So in that group, I would say pick one subject and then master it.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, good stuff. Hey, we're going to welcome Pramelia. Hey, Pramelia, good morning. I'm just going to unmute you there.
Hey. Oh.
Okay, good morning. Say hello, please.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on the panel. And I've been watching your Hangout with Michael show probably for 3 months now and have been enjoying it. And so I'm very honored to be one of the panel today. My name's Pramelia Param. My company is Vibrational Healing, and I am a practitioner with the energy healing process. I teach people how to balance their chakras for better health. And because I work with vibration a lot, my question for you, Michael, is when I'm working with one of my clients and I'm explaining to them the vibrational bubble, I need a little bit of help in maybe giving them more specifics about what their vibrational bubble would be.
Right. Well, I use the term vibrational bubble in a playful way. Some people might use the word aura, but I don't want to use that word. My job is to teach the masses. So, I say, well, what, so I pretend it's a bubble. Now, my style, I'm looking for it right now, would be to show you a picture. The dude in my book with the little vibrator. So, that'll increase the student's understanding tenfold. You just show it. If you're on there, you just hold it up and show it. Or you just draw a stick figure and do a little whirlwind around, say, so, and then you can point to inside, and that's where law of attraction is observed. Now, there is no real bubble there, but we're trying to teach the process. And then I know when you start to say, well, watch out what you're putting in your bubble. That's what my friends and I, we use that term, watch your bubble, In other words, mind your vibration. When we say mind your vibration, I mean, watch what you're including in your bubble. Tell me what you heard that made sense or was helpful for you.
Well, I like the idea of actually showing them the picture. And of course, I have your book, your new book, as well as I have the same one that Barb has. But I like your new book, your newer process shows that vibrational bubble. So I will be definitely hauling out your book and showing it to my clients if they're not quite getting what I mean.
Yeah, show it to them anyway.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, show it to them anyway. You know, just get in the habit of using all the communication styles to do that. If you go to Google and type in Losier vibrational bubble, my dude's out there. Like just type Losier and vibrational meter reader, Losier and anything. So all the graphics I use, we put out on Google for people to go copy them. You might also want to type in Losier NLP styles, and then you might find little cheat sheets and stuff. So
right.
Good
Great.
stuff.
Thank you for that.
Now you are also part of that Law of Attraction group. Tell me, as a facilitator, you used the material from my book, Law of Attraction. What was everybody's most eye-awakening or aha process in the book? Can you remember that?
I think for Barb and I as facilitators, what stood out the most for us was our group's focus. Everybody that came, we had 7 other ladies, and their focus over those 9 weeks was just incredible. Like they really were able to pare down as to exactly what they needed in order to be successful with the Law of Attraction. And we had a good variety of people. Some people had been using it for a while. Most of them had all come to the seminar that you had here in February. Some of them were just brand new to it, and it was very exciting by the end of that time frame to see how everybody really had focused on making it happen in their lives.
Yes, I remember that seminar because I woke up to a massive snowstorm in the hotel.
Yes.
And I live in La La Land, where we don't have snow, so it's like, okay. Well, good. Thanks for joining us, Premilia. John, you and I are going to go read some live comments right now. And while you're refreshing that, I see a question here from Gwen Lorena. So here's Gwen's question. Then, John, you can get queued up and tell us what else is going on. Gwen's question is, how is it possible to keep high vibes? All we seem to hear is negative news, terrorist attacks, especially in Manchester this week. Brexit, everyday elections coming up, and the voters' apathy. Well, I know a lot of people might have a solution for you for that. And first, I want to say that all of that's important, and it's not for us not to care about those things. But we just talked about having a vibrational bubble. It doesn't serve you to include those things that don't feel good in your vibrational bubble because it disrupts your own vibration. And you can't serve anybody or anything if you're not in the highest vibration possible. It might sting a bit, and some people might think that you're not supposed to care, but you should. But your job is to hold the highest vibration possible. So I might suggest it might sting a bit. Mind your own vibration. And it's okay to observe those things that you're seeing on TV and on the news. As long as you do it, Dana, can you say this when you see it? Mind your own vibration as long as?
Observe the contrast briefly.
That's right.
Briefly is the key.
That's right. Now you're at choice at everything that you watch and everything that you listen and every conversation that you have. You need to be selfish enough to care about yourself enough that you would not include, I'm going to show my bubble dude. Everybody see him? That you would be careful what you include your vibrational bubble. And you can get ticked off and angry, and you can have those emotions. We're not saying not to have them. You can have them, and the best way to have them, Janice, say it when you say it,
is briefly.
Is briefly. Good. I'm going to like your comment. Hope you still like me. Kevin, or not Kevin, but John, go ahead, please. What's our next question, comment?
Absolutely, yeah. First, I just want to say hello to Pierre Moisey, who's watching from Montreal. It's pouring out, but the show brings energy and sunshine.
Pierre, is all I hear with Montreal is smoked meat sandwiches. And after I hear Montreal, I didn't hear anything about the weather. Just smoked meat sandwiches.
Yeah. And a question from Patrick Kruger. So
hey, Patrick.
Yeah. This question has been there for for a little while on the show here, and he wants to know more about the bubble. So what happens when something annoying or bad happens, but then leads to something good? A basic example, he was on his way to get his hair cut and got caught up in traffic. It was probably a little ticked off and was an hour late. So someone different cut his hair. They turned out to be better and cheaper. Please explain.
Yeah, I don't think there's any connection between those two, right? And what happened was just evidence of your high vibrations. You know, you didn't have to get slowed down in traffic to make that happen. You just had to follow your intuition or follow your heart and go there and, you know, yeah, I know it sounds like follow your heart. Well, then follow your vibe then. If the vibe says to go to this shop and sit in that chair, and, you know, I do the same thing. I'm old school with my barber. And then if he's busy, old school, no school. I'm getting my hair cut somewhere else by somebody else in the same shop, of course. But so I get that. So, yeah, maybe there is no connection. Maybe there is. You see, law of attraction is always orchestrating and unfolding whatever needs to happen to make sure that you're in alignment to what it is you give your attention, energy, and focus to. So just enjoy the results and the manifestation of that, and celebrate that, and sit in the chair and say, I created this. This is here because of me. You could really freak your barber out and say this. I'm not surprised we met. Matter of fact, I've been sending the vibration of high vibe people for some time. And the law of attraction is unfolded and orchestrated whatever needs to happen so I could match the vibration which brought me to you. You are here because of me.
Yep.
Yeah, word of caution on that one.
Yeah, word of caution. Okay, John, who else is saying what? Diane, thank you for putting all the links of what we're talking about today.
Yeah. Lots of hellos and a question from Catherine Ho regarding communication styles. Would Digital Dan have low emotional IQ than other styles, and wondering how to deal with a manager who is digital when you'd be something else, like maybe kinesthetic?
Yeah, so I wouldn't use the word low emotional IQ. I would just say that they don't process emotions the way most people do. So, you know what, I'm going to make a little bit of noise because I want to find the right thing, because I'm a dedicated trainer, and I want to make sure I have the right tools. And okay, now that I'm invested looking for it, I have to find it. I can't back out now. I'm committed. To
so, Michael, shall I tell them about next week's show then?
Yes, you tell them about next week's show. I'm going to find the perfect tool.
And actually, it's a perfect segue. So next week, episode 193, what every coach, trainer, and teacher ought to know about the 4 learning styles. So you can see that this is a popular topic, Michael.
What a dovetail. Hey, perfect. I found it in my mess of cards, Catherine Ho. Here is what I'm talking about. There are 4 ways people like to learn information. We have all 4 ways. One of them is our favorite. Mm-hmm. So if you want to build really fast, quick rapport with me, you would deliver it in my style, because we have all 4 ways. One of them is my least favorite way. And by that, it means in one of these groupings, I hardly use the words in those groupings. And when I have to, it irritates me. It's actually uncomfortable. So you can go to hangoutwithmichael.com. At the very top, you'll see an NLP tab, and then you can go do an assessment to find out the order of your 4 styles. Hey, Catherine, why don't you do that before next Friday? And then Dana said we're going to be talking about this again, and what everybody, well, it's really for coaches and trainers. I keep looking like somebody's listening. I just want to get close. Everybody, come back next week, Friday, because we're going to teach you what you need to know to uncover somebody's style and then match it really nicely. So thanks, Catherine Ho. John, I am, you can give us another one.
Well, Delilah loves the content today. Lots of great content today. Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Delilah.
Rhonda says, digitals have great emotional intelligence, but we don't always express it clearly with people out of our style.
Yeah, intelligence is different than feelings. So, you know what? Well, my assistant is digital, so I've learned, here's the most optimal question to give her. I'd like you to be thinking about this. And then she'll process it because they're intelligent, and then come back and have it all thought out, but not on the spot. That's my style. I can do that on the spot. So they're intelligent, but just not using the feeling words. So good question. Hey, look who's in the house. It's Misty Anderson, our friend from Alaska, with a weather report. Another beautiful day in Alaska. Now, Misty knows that she's got one of these coming. Remember that, Dana?
Yeah, she won it.
Yeah, she won the book. And but should I mail it to Misty early? What do you think?
And maybe even autograph it, Michael. Could you do
Well, I'll
that?
definitely autograph it for Misty. Yeah. Misty, say yes if you want it early. I want it early. Yeah. We have Carmen Lyons. She's saying, woohoo. She's saying, Barb and Premilia did a great job. They did. Thank you. Lee Strickler is from Colorado Springs, Colorado, I guess. Yeah, no, for sure. Say that with more confidence. And our friend Barbara Harwell, who's often on the panel, she's saying good morning. Michelle Watkins is saying afternoon. That's about it. I think that's everybody. Here's how I'd like to wrap up today. I'm going to take some more peeks after the show on this. I would like to hear from each of my panel members today, what was something that you learned today that was new or exciting? Or now, I want to show off. Oh, really? I'm going to ask today's question that satisfies all four styles. Catherine Ho, are you listening? This is how it's done. Remember, the visual, I'm going to use words for them, the auditory. So on 3, 2, 1. So here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to hear from each of you today on the panel. What was something that you heard today that made sense to you? Or what was something that caught your eye that you see yourself doing? Or what was something that you feel that you're going to start to practice after today's show? I'd like to hear from each of you. We're going to start with Premilia. Hey, Premilia. I'll unmute you here. Go ahead.
Okay.
Kate, you're muted at your end, so you can unmute yourself. Okay, Barb, we're going to connect with you and troubleshoot Premilia's sound there. So go ahead, Barb.
Okay. Well, what I heard today was a reminder of those 4 communication styles and being more attuned to assessing what they are as far as how I'm going to respond, and just building that rapport in a better way. So thank you for all of the input today.
Thank you. It's also the prevention of broken rapport, right?
Yes.
We're trying to prevent broken rapport, I remember one time, I'm kinesthetic loss. It doesn't mean I don't have feelings. It just takes me a while to answer feeling questions. I had a coach once for 1 hour, and I remember in the beginning she said, okay, let's have fun in today's session. No, really fun. So what are we going to play with today? Yeah, no, we're not playing.
No, so not, Michael.
They're all kinesthetic values. They're not mine. No, I don't need to hear about your family. No, let's get to work. Good. Who's going to go next for us?
I'll go next. I really like the question about what do you do with all this negative news and all of that we're being bombarded with. And I particularly like, I've got my own vibrational bubble here, because I'm usually working with women. So, watching all that news, picking up the newspaper, going on your phone to CNN, following what's going on, all of that negativity goes into your vibrational bubble. And I find that if I ever watch that stuff, I often end up dreaming about it. And it's very upsetting. So as Michael said, you may not like to hear it, but the more that you can keep that out of your vibrational bubble, the better it will be for you. And look for those positive news stories. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Because law of attraction is not very smart, with all due respect. It's responding to what you're giving attention to. It doesn't know that you're watching the news or that you're overhearing a conversation or that you're playing with puppies. Like, it's just responding to how you feel with what you're reading, doing, thinking, saying, observing. So, and there's no judgment on what you're doing, what you're including in your vibration, but there is a consequence. There's a consequence to the negativity that you're including, and it's called contrast, and it's called BS, and it's called negative stuff. Okay, who else wants to share? John, let's hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my takeaway was what Barbara's question and your analogy about the campfires. Too many campfires on the go, and none of them are going to be burning. Yeah. So, just start when you're identifying your desires, do one thing and do it well.
Yeah. There's not a race. I told a story before that we went live on Facebook about how I got the cases of books yesterday, and I didn't open them for about 3 hours. They were all like cases all in my living room, and I thought, I think I'm going to check one out. And the journey to write that, all the unfoldment, everything that law of attraction unfolds and orchestrates so I could have this in my hand today, that was the joy of the book, was all the unfoldment. Now there's a new chapter. Now the new unfoldment will be all the opportunities that I'm going to have to talk about and then I get to watch that. So when people say, was this your goal? Well, getting it was the goal, but now that's not the goal anymore. This probably brings up the point where people said, because I always say that I'm always in the process. So I'm always in the process of feeling good. So the process that brought me that felt good all the way. Now the next processes. That makes sense, everybody? In other words, you never get it done. Just when you thought just when you said, oh, this will bring me. No, this didn't bring me the joy. The process brought me joy. And now the book isn't joy, but the process to the next piece will be the joy. So yeah, you're always
journey.
You're always in the process. Good. John, let's take another peek out there. And Pam, I'd like to hear what your takeaway was today, and then we're going to hear from John. Go ahead, please.
Yes, so I really liked the show, but I liked how you gave a quick example of using all 4 styles in a really short way. I think that's great if you're not quite sure what their dominant style is, to quickly communicate with somebody, and it doesn't have to take, repeating yourself. You did it really efficiently, so thank you for that example.
Thank you. Well, people say that, but how do I figure it out? Well, you have to get them to talk. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And here's people's favorite question. Write this down. Tell me. Well, tell me about how I caught your attention. Tell me about how you decided to call me. Tell me about what brought you into my office today. And people will tell you. And in their story, they will reveal their most common words. I bet you this is on Google somewhere. Type in Google Losier 4 styles or something. Just saying.
Lots of shows on that, Michael, and plus 193 coming up.
That's right. Good. Just a reminder, John and I are chilling out tomorrow. We're doing the bro show on the emotion code. And tomorrow we're doing the heart wall. So if you've got a broken heart, or you've got heartache, or you're ticked off or peed off or whatever, and you just want to get on with your life, or you're sad, like this is all legitimate stuff, you've got a wall around your heart. John, tell me, read a couple more comments and then we're going to wrap up. Go ahead, please.
Absolutely. Actually, a question from Leslie Marshall has a question for you, but would like to ask it privately. What's the best way to private message you?
She can just private message me in Facebook at the top of my Facebook page.
Okay.
Leslie and 20,000 other people at the top of my Facebook page. Is a little place where you can message me. Yeah, go ahead. I check my mail. Hey, you know what? If you were inspired by today, or you heard something that your friend, you said, well, my hunch is that one of your friends' names came to mind during today's show, and they're not here. Well, guess what? Go up, copy that URL, and send it to them. Okay, John. What else?
Lots of hellos from people watching. Yeah. I think that wraps it up, actually. Yeah, I think we mentioned everyone that's watching.
John's so visual. John's so kinesthetic. Oh, that wraps it up. That puts a bow on that. I think we feel complete.
Yeah.
Everybody happy?
Yeah. Well, what a great time today I had with all the panel members. You know, they came a half hour early before, so we were presenting you some good material in a nice fashioned way. So I appreciate them being here nice and early with me today. We've been 55 minutes today. We had lots of fun. We do this every Friday at 9 o'clock. And one time a month, we are dedicating it to viewers like you that come on the panel and ask questions. All other times, you can ask questions live. After the show, my favorite part, I'm going to go reply and answer and say hello to everybody that participated today. Let's, Dada, you already said what's happening next week? I think we're all set. Okay, everybody, let's say goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for
later,
watching.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.